I would like to advise all those present that notice of this regular meeting of July 16th, 2025 has been provided to the public in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey. Notice of time and place of this meeting has been included in the annual notice of meetings, which was posted and filed with the city clerk and with the Jersey Journal and the Star Ledger. An additional notice of time and place was posted and filed with the city clerk and was forwarded to the Bergen Record and Star Ledger on July 11th, 2025. The regular meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne is now in session. Ms. Medina, please call the roll.
Mr. Booker?
Here.
Mr. Perez?
Here.
Ms. Weimer?
Here.
Mr. La Palusa?
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item is the hearing of the municipal budget. The calendar year 2025 local municipal budget, which was approved at the meeting held June 18, 2025, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board by summary as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for following a public hearing at this meeting of July 18th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And the resolution moved for a second reading. Who'd like to move it?
move it.
Second?
Second.
And second reading is by title, the calendar year 2025 local municipal budget. The council is now ready to, any member of the public to speak concerning the municipal budget.
Yes?
Hello, everyone. Sharon Nadrowski, 126 Avenue A. What is the blended increase for our taxes this year?
About 3%. That includes everything.
Okay, so my concern is if you look at the budget, currently have about 47 pilots active right now, or that were awarded. We have 3 you're going to robotically pass tonight that are for final passage, and then you have another 2 that you're introducing. That's an exorbitant amount for a town our size to have pilots. I don't think other towns that are bigger than us have used that many pilots. We always hear how great all these developments are doing, so we shouldn't have to incentivize people anymore. That's what it is. It's an incentivize. You're offsetting the risk. But we heard time and time again from you sitting up there that there is no risk. Everything goes to 100% right away. And I don't want to hear we're offsetting the increase in raw materials because all of our residents' raw materials have increased too. Our food, our insurance, our taxes, everything has increased. No one's offsetting your taxpayers. And your job really is to look out for the interests of your taxpayers. And I really don't understand how you could say you're doing that when you keep giving out these pilots that, I know I passed a lot when I sat up there, but they're, and you're not even increasing the time, which we did for a while. These are going back out to long-term pilots. I'm just, trying to make sense of you saying on one hand tonight, first thing you're going to do is raise our taxes, and then you're going to give out more pilots. So I'm just, I'm just saying my piece on that because I know you're going to do it anyway. Thank you.
Anyone else?
This is the language I asked to be included in all future pilots.
Okay. I may have a motion to close the hearing.
So move.
Second? Who's second?
Second.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
And I have a resolution to amend. And I have to read it in full. So here we go. It is whereas the local municipal budget for the calendar year 2025 was approved on this day, 16th day of July 2025, and whereas the public hearing on said budget has been held as advertised, and whereas it is desired to amend said approved budget now. Therefore, be it resolved by the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, that the following amendments to the approved budget for the calendar year 2025 be made. And under general revenues, number one, surplus anticipated from $9,250,000 to $6,750,000. Surplus anticipated with prior written consent from the Director of Division of Local Government Services from $0 to $1,182,992. Miscellaneous revenues, Section A, local revenue, 160 East 22nd Street, 2.01 Realty LLC, from 106,867 to 36,162. Section G, other special items of revenue, preschool school tax, from $0 to $1,437,218.82. Summary revenue. Section A, local revenue, from $24,154,995.17 to $24,084,300.17. Section G, special items of revenue, $18,932,624.85 to $20,369,843.67. Subtotal general revenues is $63,860,624.28 to $63,910,140.10. The amount to be raised by taxes for support of municipal budget. A, local tax for municipal purposes included reserve of uncollected taxes, $94,584,306.52 to $94,534,531.87. Total amount to be raised by taxes, $103,526,649.72 to $103,476,875.07. Total general revenues is $167,387,274 to $167,387,015.17. General appropriations, A, operations within CAPS, employee group health insurance, $22,105,000 to $23,408,980. Total operations, item 8A, within CAPS is from $107,000, $100 million, I don't know why I don't want the million there, $107,038,433 to $108,342,413. Total operations included contingent within the CAPS is $107,039,433 to $108,343,413. Detailed other expenses included contingent $42,423,433 to $43,727,413. And total general appropriations for the municipal purposes within CAPS is $127,992,620.05 to $129,296,600.05. Operations excluded from CAPS. Employee group health insurance cap exclusion, $4,045,000 to $2,741,020. Total other operations excluded from CAPS, $7,658,409.69 to $6,354,429.69. Total operations excluded from CAPS, $11,349,059.42 to $10,045,179.42. Detailed other expenses, $9,400,105.97, all right, to $8,136,125.97. Total general appropriations for municipal purposes excluded from caps, $32,930,983.43 to $31,627,003.43. Total general appropriations excluded from caps, $38,259,916.94 to $36,955,936.94. Reserved for uncollected taxes, $1,134,737.01 to $1,134,478.18. Total general appropriations is $167,387,274 to $167,387,015.17. Total general appropriations for municipal purposes within cap, $127,992,620.05 to $129,296,600.05. Operations excluded from caps, other operations, $7,654,409.69 to $6,354,429.69. Total operations excluded from caps, $11,349,059.42 to $10,045,079.42. Reserved for uncollected taxes, $1,134,737.01 to $1,134,478.18. Total general appropriations is $167,387,274 to $167,387,105.17. And be it resolved that the foregoing amendment to the calendar year 2025 municipal budget was introduced and read at this meeting of July 16th, and the said amendments will be published in the Bergen Record on July 17th, and the public hearing for the amendments will be held on Wednesday, July 23rd at 6 p.m. Who would like to move the amendments?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
And on the amendments, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
And a resolution postponing to July 23rd, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Move it.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll? Ms. Carroll's absent. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Current, it's taken out of order, is R6, so we're authorizing the council to go into a closed session to discuss matters involving attorney-client privileges pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12. Would like to move it.
Move it.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
We will be coming back out for the remainder of the meeting.
Madeline, we're ready to restart?
Okay, we're ready to reconvene. On the motion to reconvene, who'd like to move it?
Move it.
Second?
Second.
And on the motion to reconvene, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Okay, starting with 01, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of July 16th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing, And a resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by Councilmember Perez. Ms. Weimer, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard. Concerning it, the council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So move.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
So move.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
02 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, approving the financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and East 25th Street Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 80-84 East 25th Street, which is identified as Block 442, Lot 14, as shown on the official tax map of the city. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and published on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of July 16th. Is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing.
So Madeline, we need to do, okay.
There was some confusion with the email that the developer's attorney sent. Lot 14 is the correct lot there. That was noticed, it's so, as it currently reads, it's there.
It was noticed correctly then?
Yes. So I know there was Lot 12 there in some copies of this version in draft, but Lot 14 is correct.
And that
Okay.
is exactly what I read.
Yeah, I know. So.
Okay.
Why do you have to point out the other side of it?
Yeah, but also just for the next couple of ordinances here, we do have Dan Bankert from NW Financial. If you want, for the council's and the public's benefit, can go over the analysis of how we came to the terms of the financial agreements being up for adoption tonight.
Thank you.
Going back, the council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Sharon Nadrowski, 126 Avenue A. How many years is the pilot?
So we're going to call up NW Financial and we'll let him.
I just want to know the years. I don't need to know all the other details. 20 years. Ooh, what happened to that 15-year limit? And how many units?
14 units.
Any affordable housing?
No.
Any workforce housing? This will be the pilot number 48 now as we're raising taxes, just for those who might be keeping score at home who are footing the bill. Thank you.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So move.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
And on the resolution for final passage, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
3, jumping the gun. An ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, approving the financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and 211-217 Broadway Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 211-217 Broadway, which is identified as Block 305, Lot 20, as shown on the official tax map of the city. which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing of this meeting of July 16th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by the council president. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, approving the financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and 211-217 Broadway Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 211-217 Broadway, which is identified as Block 305, Lot 20, as shown on the official tax map of the city. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
So how many years is this pilot?
This is 25 years.
25, oh, even longer. Again, way off the 15 that was promised we were going down to. One thing I forgot to ask on the last one, but I'll ask on this one. How many units is it?
This is 39 units,
And how many parking spots?
39.
So everyone's going to have just one car apiece. And is there any places inside for deliveries, Ubers, or anything like that? Or is that just going to be on the street in the residential area?
That I'm not sure.
That was the offloading, again, for the council's, for this council's recommendation was put into the redevelopment plan, and that is part of the site plan approvals for there to be an internal loading and offloading zone.
So there is.
Yes.
So additional to the 39, are these EV chargers here or something?
By state mandate, there has to be 10% EV.
Okay. So you got 39, and how many bedrooms? How many bedrooms are these units?
The unit mix is 10 studios, 9 one-bedrooms, and 22 bedrooms.
22 two-bedroom units, and we really think no one's going to have more than one car. Where are they going? I didn't ask a question on the one before it, but that's in the worst area ever. The parking, I don't know if anyone pays attention. I know you get emails all the time up there. The parking is insane. There is nowhere to park. People are parking 4 or 5 blocks. You have now instituted, and I don't really think you thought it out, you instituted 24-hour parking, but you have zones by colors. And I live on a border, if I live on a border of zone, and I come home at night and there's no parking, I can maybe have to, in my own zone, go 15 blocks to find a parking spot. But I can go park over here, the next block over, there's a parking spot, but I'm going to get a ticket. I'm a Bayonne resident, but I'm not in the right zone. I think you needed to figure that out better, because you're restricting people from almost some of them just from parking down the block from where they are, because the zones change. People drive around for hours looking for parking, and this just complicates it more. Councilman Weimer, you live over there where that last one was, and I've been at meetings where other people, Ms. Kadeski Rodriguez has come in and talked in numerous meetings about the parking problem over there. And this just completes it. I mean, it just falls on deaf ears. It's a real problem. And I've heard it, we're going to address it, we're going to address it. That's what Ms. Kadeski was told. And I really don't see anything happening. I just see you guys addressing it by making it worse, because that's what this does. If you really think we don't have the transportation infrastructure, public transportation infrastructure, to say that people don't need cars. It's impossible. We don't have the best bus system. We have light rail, which is not, it's terrible. You know, if you're going anywhere, you can't get to the airport, there's nowhere. It is not, we do not have the infrastructure of public transportation to say people don't need cars. It's just not true. Look around. Thanks.
So I'm going to offer you a couple of comments, Sharon, just because I don't disagree with you. I do think that it is unrealistic to think that within a community such as Bayonne, we are going to be a totally green community in which people are going to utilize alternate means of transportation, because it's just not going to happen. It's not happening now. It never did before. I'd love to see it get there someday, and I'd love to tell you that I'm the first one that jumps on my bicycle instead of my car, but clearly, if you look at me, that's just not true. So I don't disagree. I have started asking our developers to allocate enough parking spaces in the building so that there are more than one parking space, one for certain, and then more than one available, and however they institute that is certainly up to them. But I need one dedicated spot, and then I need to have the ability, if there's a two-bedroom apartment, there needs to be 2 spots allocated to that apartment. I could even see whereas one-bedroom apartments, where a husband and a wife, my husband and I have more than one vehicle, it is realistic to think most people do. So I do think that greater consideration has to be given to that area. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. And I have started asking the developers. In fact, last week when I met with one of the designers, the developers, and their architectural firm, they did actually agree to go back and reconfigure their parking to allocate 1 dedicated for each 1-bedroom and 2 dedicated for each 2-bedroom. And so I can share with you, it is a new effort. I don't know that there's a building currently up and in effect that has that going on today, but it is my ask in the future of all developers.
And we've also been very vocal about trying to get the developers to pay more money so that we could get some parking decks around town, which would alleviate some problems as well.
Council President, sorry for the interruption here, but I think one of the other financial terms too, and correct me, Mr. Bankert, if I'm wrong on this, but also for this pilot, based on the council's direction, there's a community benefit payment of $78,000 that's, again, to be made to our parks infrastructure, and parking needs, as, sees fit in the amended redevelopment agreements that will come after. For the last one, there was a payment that wasn't mentioned of $28,000 for those 14 units. So I just want to make sure that for the record, those, are there for your considerations, and again, for the public's knowledge, for the stuff that was negotiated with the developer on these projects.
Thank you.
I just did some quick math, and $78,000 over 25 years means you're getting $3,120 to the city per year to create more of a parking crisis. That's not even enough money to maintain 1 parking spot in the city. Thank you.
Could you tell us your name and address, please?
Anna Indelicato, 16 Pavonia Court.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move.
And a second?
Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez. Aye. Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
So move.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
04 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, approving the financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and Nova Group Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 474-476 Broadway, which is identified as Block 205, Lot 10.01, as shown on the official tax map of the city, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of January 16th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council president, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On that resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, approving the financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and Nova Group Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 474-476 Broadway, which is identified as Block 205, Lot 1.01, as shown on the official tax map of the city. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Yes.
How many years is this one? Do I hear 30?
25.
25, another 25. How many units?
30 units.
And the breakdown of the bedrooms?
Yes, 5 studios, 15 one-bedrooms, and 10 two-bedrooms.
Again, it's going to be the same issues. And I'd just like to say, I'm going to respond to Mr. LaPalooza's, we're getting money from these developers to maybe build parking garages. Where? Maybe the 2 properties you're eminent domain in, you may want to, instead of putting more luxury housing with not enough parking, and the one you're being sued on, I don't know if you got noticed yet, it'll probably be on next month's agenda, that Dr. Ainga for Holiday Tree and Trim did file a lawsuit against the city on that. And again, so instead of maybe putting a parking lot, we'll spend money on lawyers. And I know the JIP don't pay any, don't charge us, but they do. But again, we're giving away all the land we don't consider anything. You want to eminent domain land for a parking lot? I'll applaud you and I'll get behind you and I'll go out there and help you get it. But you're doing it for that. We're saying we're going to build parking, but there is nowhere left to build parking. You keep building more units. And again, how many parking spots were there?
32.
And how many total units?
30.
30. So we're at a, two plus. But again, the number of two-bedroom units has really increased percentage-wise in the number of units. And then you'll tell me that they don't impact our schools because these two-bedroom units don't have kids. And if you want to talk about cars, and thank you, Ms. Weimer, for your input, I appreciate your efforts to do that. You're saying that they don't have, Ms. Weimer talked about 2 cars. Well, let me tell you, when you have 2 bedrooms, you think there's people, they're not necessarily husband and wife, they're roommates. They have 2 people, they have roommates living in there because they can't afford the rents that are being charged. Not if you work locally in Bayonne, you're not affording that. We don't pay our school system, our teachers hardly make anything, especially if you're new. The younger people barely can stay alive in this town. But again, tell me we're not impacting our school system with all these 2-bedroom units. Because they are. There was a time when there were less 2-bedroom units, but we seem to have gone away from that and are not worried about overtaxing our schools. Additionally, where right now, we don't even have classrooms for them. We're outsourcing our kindergarten and pre-K to private institutions around the city. We don't have room for them, but we keep hearing how we're going to address it, but it's just words. You're just, once again, you're complicating it. You're adding to the problem. We don't have anywhere for the cars or the kids. So,
Mr.
thank you.
Drosky, I also remember you voting yes on a lot of these projects that had the same amount of parking that you're coming at the council with now.
First of all, I said it before I voted on them, but I didn't vote for 47 of them, Gary. You did.
Yeah, but you found religion now. Thank you.
Hi.
Please state your name and address.
Yeah, Ken Dupay, 90 West 35th Street. I heard, my ears picked up on asked. We asked the developers, we asked them. Why do we have to ask them? I understand, I was
So-
told, well, wait, can I finish, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was told a while back that what we did with these, what do you call them, where they don't have to pay so much for so many years, whatever, it was great. It took us out of the hole. And now we're at a point where we don't have to really do that anymore. That's the way I understood it. Don't we have any leverage? These people seem to want to be coming in here. The people open up restaurants and on and on. They must be, they want to be here. I would think we should demand, not ask. Make it required. You're going to come here, you're going to give us this, not could you put a parking lot? You're going to have to, or you're not going to come here. We'll get another developer to come here.
It's not as easy as you made it sound. If you want me to explain it, I
Yeah,
can
go ahead.
explain it a little bit to you. The developers also have a choice of where they want to build too. So as far as demand, there's only so much of that you can do. And as far as Mr. Skillender was up here talking about the community contributions, money that goes to parks, money that goes to different things, they're giving us money back in addition to the pilots as well. So we get our service charge, and we get money for different projects and different things. So that's when I say we're trying to get money, it's all a matter of pooling the money for certain items. The problem we run into with the pilots is if I live on 46th Street and a building is built on 46th Street, the money has to be spent around 46th Street. So if the first ward is in need of a parking garage, like I want to start having these pilots pay into a fund to fund these parking garages, I have to spend it around 46th Street, which may not be the place where it's needed the most. Maybe I got to do it downtown on 7th Street, like Mr. Drowsky said, or whatever. So I can't build it, so that's an issue and a problem. There's legal issues about where the money could be pooled. So the council, we have these great ideas, and sometimes we're bound by law that we can't do certain things.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why we need to have closed sessions and things
Well,
to
due
talk
respect,
about
you lost me
legalities.
already because I can't get into details. All I'm doing, trying to keep it simple, like if I was
I
talking to.
know,
a
I'm not trying to
five-year-
make it complicated either,
No,
I'm
all
explaining
I'm
to you
saying is,
why.
Let's start acting
It's
from
it's easy for somebody to come up and throw stones and say, you
I'm
should
not
do
throwing
this, or you
stones.
didn't do that. But the truth of the matter is that there's certain legal bounds that we all have to
understand.
live by.
All I'm saying is, let's start working from where we have stop asking, there's other developers that come. One doesn't come, another one will
That
come.
might have been the
Because
verbiage that I
we're
used.
prime
but-
area now. So you set down the rules. Don't beg them. Set down the rules. Just, go first, stay from, whatever. Thank you.
well,
Council President,
Yes.
without interjecting a personal opinion here, I would encourage anyone concerned about development and planning development in this community to go to the planning board meetings, which is where this originates. By the time it comes here, story's been told.
The planning
The
board.
input the input at that level is probably critical if you have strong feelings. I suggest you go to planning board meetings first.
The planning board will decide on certain things. They'll hear about the parking spots, they'll hear about the structure and the development, how many bedrooms and things of that nature. And then their recommendations get sent to us. Okay. Mr. Solari?
Tom Solari, 8 West Grant Street. I understand we have a lot of traffic, but for years, been hearing about, we're gonna get walkover bridges on 440. Are we waiting for another seller to get killed on 440 and 32nd Street? Or another gentleman on 22nd Street and on 440? Where's the walkover bridges? You've been talking about this for years. Sharon was on it, on that council then. Way before Sharon was on the council, it was talking about it. Where are these bridges? Don't talk about that 25th Street bridge, because that developer should have been shot. That is the worst walkover bridge I ever seen. That elevator should have been put in when that staircase was put up. That developer should have been sued, or they should have remodeled that bridge. That was the worst bridge, and I don't care, the city council allowing it, you're the fault for that. Somebody falls down them stairs, guess what? Somebody's gonna get $1 million from you guys.
The bridges over 440 are already set in motion. We're waiting for that to happen.
What,
It's
another
our-
10 years?
No, we had an open meeting, but I didn't see you there, so you don't
Well,
know about
because
it.
you wanna know why? Because nobody posts anything.
That's not true.
Gary, I don't see any
That's
posts on
not
your,
true.
on your,
It's not
on your
true.
web pages.
There was more
I don't
than-
see anybody's web
I gotta tell you
pages.
what, there was actually more than one meeting here in the council chambers with viewpoints, and they handed out booklets and
Gary,
everything.
I follow the city page, I follow your page, I don't see crap.
Tom, it was on there, and
Gary,
I'm pretty sure
I
I
don't
took
believe
pictures
a
of
word you're
myself,
saying.
You know,
All right?
sorry. But it was there.
Anna Indelicato, 16 Polonia Court. When is the planning meeting that you guys were talking about developments? That would be good to know if we want to go there.
Excuse me, ma'am, I am the council representative for the planning board, and it is held once a month on Tuesdays, and it is posted on the website, along with the agenda.
Yeah. Generally, they're Tuesday, the second Tuesday of each month at 6 o'clock in this room here. It's posted on the city's website on the calendar.
Keith Gallant, 25 East 23rd Street. Gary, people do find religion. Times change, peoples change, and I think you're starting to take the criticism a little too personally.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
I've spoken to Jackie about this. I can disagree with someone, but I can still be civil about it.
I think
Okay.
I'm pretty civil.
People, and if you can't field volatile comments, you're in the wrong job.
I think I
Municipal
handled
governance
pretty well.
is difficult.
Yep.
It's why I'm not running for one of your seats. So I just want to put that out there. It's not a good look, all right? People are running out of patience in this city day by day. And you guys are going to have to field more unrest and comments like this. So you've just got to come up with a way to communicate better. And I've got my own issues, a lot of them, but all in all, I still want to say that I've chosen to live in Bayonne. And that doesn't mean that we can't manage intelligent growth, including the parking problem. And I'll be the first one to admit, at my address, there are now 5 licensed drivers at a single 2-family Bayonne box address. So we can all point to the developers, which, by the way, should be providing guest parking spaces as well. But we also need to understand that there's many different facets that feed into the parking problem. Every single family home in this town has multiple licensed drivers at them. Every multifamily house has multiple licensed drivers at them that all require parking spaces. Okay, I do agree with Sharon that we are not a city that is very forward-looking in terms of public transport. But if that is the case and that is the reality we're dealing with, we need to come up with better solutions that serves the constituency and the taxpayers better and in a far more civil way.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move it. Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
05 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 935-939 Broadway, which is designated as Block 85, Lot 23, as shown on the official tax map pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of January 16th is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
On that resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title. Ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 935-939 Broadway, which is designated as Block 85, Lot 23, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Sharon Nadrowski, 126 Avenue A. Thank you, Mary Jane. You gave me a great idea. Yes, everyone could go to a planning board meeting, but let's all talk about the planning board. Councilman Booker sits on that planning board. I don't know, I'll go look at some of the videos if he's ever mentioned parking or anything there. But I also do know that here, right here tonight, you're going to approve the plan, which I'm going to ask all the same questions on. And I also, Ben, when I sat up there, I voted no on it. But you, Gary, you led and overrode at a meeting a plan. The planning board, all the experts, made a plan, said what they thought should fit in that spot. You opened it at the meeting, made a motion to increase the building by 1 floor and add more units. So don't say it's locked, it's written in stone, I thought I heard someone say, once the planning board gets there. So go there and tell it, because it's not. It's not when it's somebody who's a supporter of yours, Gary, and that's what happened that time. I voted no on it. You added it. You went against the expert recommendations on what that area could hold and added a whole nother floor. Okay, so right now, how many,
What project was that you're
it's
speaking
the
about?
old Cascam, Jimmy Gamal's property. It was 3 floors. You opened it at a meeting, and you overrode the planning board. You didn't even send it back to the planning board. You just overrode it and did it, yes. And your colleagues voted for it. I voted no on it. But again,
I
how many,
actually
this is the
recused
planning.
myself from that
So what
vote.
is the plan here? How many?
I recused myself from that vote.
You absolutely did not.
I did.
But can I, how many units are on this plan? Because you guys can adjust this and change right now, listening to the people here. You have that power.
So again, this is the Bank of America site on the corner of 45th and Broadway. CME's planners did this plan, given some site considerations about the property being, first of all, an irregular shaped lot, kind of dealing with the back portion of it. The second other consideration, too, also with this is the current building and the bank lot, the vault, being underground. So the removal of that, in order to make the project financially feasible, had some considerations that's also deviating from the generally approved standard. So the first bulk regulations here for this is just making sure that the minimum lot area is 11,250 square feet with a minimum lot frontage on East 45th Street of 135 feet and then on Broadway 75 feet. The building does have a height of 8 stories, 95 feet, with parking solely to be on the first floor, no more than 25 feet to deal with the stack parking with the entrance garage on the 45th Street side. So currently, right now, there's a curb cut on Broadway. The city will be gaining that curb cut back on that. The second thing, again, on the setbacks there, too, is also from making sure that there is a 12-foot sidewalk provided along the Broadway side and a 10-foot sidewalk proposed on the 45th Street side. There was also then some consideration made, again, for the stacking of the setbacks of the building as it kind of goes up. So Council President LaPalooza, again, you also kind of, again, directed the administration to look at kind of setting back, making it more of like a wedding cake tier on that, and we did try to take that into consideration. So after the first floor, there is a 25-foot setback from the first floor on the pedestal parking, again, to accommodate the residents in the back. There is a maximum unit count allowed for 65 dwelling units there.
2-bedroom and 1-bedroom?
It's studio 1 and 2 bed, but the developer is proposing just only studio and single beds in their.
What's approved? What does this plan approve? How many 1-bedrooms and 2-bedrooms?
There's no unit count on those. It's just an overall dwelling count.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for the site plan. So again, for their proposed site plan, because this also does require a technical review committee, the developer has said that they're not going to, while the plan allows for 2 bedrooms, they have indicated that they do not want to seek 2 bedrooms in this building.
And parking?
Parking is for residential spaces, 1 space per dwelling unit.
1 space per dwelling unit, which wouldn't be so bad if it really only doesn't have any 2 bedrooms. But again, it's on Broadway where there's limited other parking and no other. And thank you for letting us know you're giving us back the parking spot on Broadway, but you're taking one away on the side street. So it's a net gain for the city.
No, that's not, because there's already a curb cut on 45th
Oh,
Street
you
for
did
that
say
one.
that. Okay, so 1 spot back.
Yeah.
A meter spot.
Metered spot back, yes.
Yes, okay. So now's the point, you guys can make changes, you know. So I just wanted to make that clear that ultimately it's not written in stone once the planning board does it. You guys are the final, comes to you for the final approval, and you guys can make changes, and it has been done.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Drosky, can I address some of your concerns? Yes, I am a representative of the planning board, and a lot of people do not come to those meetings. The questions that are being posed here, some people are getting firsthand. The reason that I make my decisions here, because I've already been informed about what's going on in the project, and that's where my vote comes from. And far as all the other questions and concerns, far as parking, apartments, units, water damage, all that stuff, I'm already aware of that. My colleagues come up to me and they ask me questions about what goes on in the planning board.
Yeah, I understand that. I sat on the planning board also, and I would demand
Heard that.
extra
I've
spots.
seen some of your videos, yes.
I would question things. I would make them change the windows. I would make them change things. That's what I'm saying. You have the ability to do that, and that was what my opinion was. I was the one there. But my colleagues, just like with the CAS-CAM lot, they didn't agree. They wanted more building. They wanted more units, and they voted. They overrode it at this meeting, which is absolutely, you're right. My question is, you're sitting here hearing us all say this. Are you at these meetings? I'll go to the next one, saying, hey, we need more parking. Hey, we need this. We got to answer. And you also, one other thing you need to do with all this construction is have a better coordination of where all the construction's happening in the town at the same time. Downtown Bayonne, the other day, they sent you around in a circle because they were doing stuff on 5th Street, on Orient Street, and the 2 different detours were for different jobs, and they literally sent you around in a circle. And you have all these construction things going on at the same time on the same
I understand
block.
what you're saying, but my question here is that your concern is my position on the board, and everything that you're questioning, people should come to the meeting. Some of the important questions that you're asking right now are being addressed for the first time, and they're unaware of what is going on in the planning board.
But-
The planning board makes informative decisions, and then they bring it to the city council. The city council definitely is the final product, but it doesn't move until it goes to the planning board.
Yes, but my point is, you are you're our representative. So if residents are coming here expressing concern about things, you should be raising them as the council person on the board. I mean, I asked for, literally for the buildings that went on Avenue E, a resident came to this meeting and asked about, can we get like standardized blinds in the windows because these apartments, these windows look a mess. Some people have blinds, some people don't, some people. And you know what? I was the representative at the next planning board meeting, the next building that came up. I made that recommendation and they agreed to it. But I didn't think of that on my own. I wish I did. But I listened to what people said to me at the council meeting because I'm representing them at the planning board meeting. So I'm just saying, are you bringing back what you're hearing here? Because I know, like I said, I've been here to a lot of meetings and I hear multiple people talking about the parking and all that. So you're representing, you're at large, you're representing the whole entire city. Are you bringing that information back to the planning board? Because not everyone can make a 6 o'clock meeting, especially if you don't work in town and you've got to come across the Turnpike Bridge. You might not make a 6 o'clock meeting. It's really not conducive for the working people or their family.
Well, I respect your opinion and what you're saying, and I'm not here to have a back and forth. This is not what the meeting's for. But what I'm saying to you is that those decisions that are made in the planning board then are moved forward to the council, and that's where we make a decision. So when the people come in and they bring up some of these questions, they've already been answered. And we try, and maybe I should maybe be a little bit more informative and bring back from the planning board to the public. But again, that information is already available to them. As the young lady just asked, when are the meetings? She's not even aware when the meetings are, and they're coming here asking questions, and they really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, I think our paper of record is the Bergen Record. So we don't have a newspaper here, so, and the city really doesn't do a lot of outreach to let people know what's going on.
Well, I'm going to disagree with that, but listen, thank you anyway. I appreciate your opinion.
Council President, if I may. Michael Maselli, I represent the redeveloper of this property. The council, I think this council in particular, interacts with my clients more than any council in history, full stop. I meet with every one of you individually, and the projects that come out here, you've had input in before they get here. And even after that, when we come back for pilot, we circle back with you and say, is there anything else? And Councilwoman Weimer and I talk all the time about design tweaks, about parking, about loading, to suggest that you do not do your jobs is irresponsible. You do your job. You don't pound your chest. You don't say, guess what we did, how we beat the developer into submission, because that happens in private when we talk. And you just don't brag about it. But you do interact with us. And it's not always the way we want it, but it's not always the way the city wants it either. We have to make something that's financeable and buildable, and that's what Councilman LaPalooza was talking about, that demanding, you can demand, but then nothing gets built and nothing gets done. So I thank you for meeting, and I continue to do that. And I just heard somebody say, good, no development. But we saved the city's budget already. The city's thriving. Its budget, we can do things that we couldn't do before. We can give raises to people that deserve them and that have been waiting for years because we couldn't afford it. We could invest in infrastructure. We're getting payments. There's one pilot up for introduction. You're going to get $288,000 out of that project. One project.
And that was the
Towards community benefit.
contribution that
And
I was
who,
speaking of.
and that wasn't I would never suggest that on behalf of my clients. You guys asked for that.
Council President, it's probably time to get back to the agenda.
Yes.
Well, I
you.
would like my 5 minutes if that would please you, please. Thank you.
Yeah,
Listen,
I think you gotta wrap it
I will
up
discuss
now.
this with each one of you,
Mr.
and you know,
Maselli.
when's the last time I came in with parking that you guys weren't okay with on something? You know that even if it says one-to-one, and you tell me we need more than that, you know I'm going to go back to my clients, and it's going to be more than one-to-one in the end. That's the truth. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Anna Indelicato, 16 Pavonia Court. I'm an infrastructure designer by trade, and I don't think Bayonne infrastructure is a poorly run city. I moved to this city for a reason, and I respect the infrastructure of it, but I also do think there are valid concerns that I hear across the community as someone who, knows a lot of people and is very involved in my community. And, I'm excited to see what the future holds on these and the plans on those. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close? On the second?
Second.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
06 is an ordinance authorizing an amended and restated financial agreement for a long-term tax exemption for the property located at 155 Goldsboro Drive, which is identified as Block 790, Lot 1.01, as shown on the official tax map. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of July 16th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by the council president. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez? Ms. Weimer? Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Second reading is by title. An ordinance authorizing an amended and restated financial agreement for the long-term tax exemption for the property located at 155 Goldsboro Drive, which is identified as Block 790, Lot 1.01, as shown on the official tax map of the city. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Yes, Sharon.
So how many units is this one? How many years, how
This-
many units?
Oh, go ahead.
So for the public's record, for the 06 and 07, these are the reason why it says amended and restated, these are the financial agreements that were approved under the previous council for the Joe Forgione residential portion that Accurate was then assigned. Madison Capital has now taken over the project as the lender from Accurate and has these under two different LLCs and under taking legal advice from our Special Redevelopment Council, amended and restated financial agreement that allocates just, again, two pilots for two different legal entities is the reason why these two ordinances, 06 and 07, are there. But these are already built projects. The terms are not changing for what was already approved on that. And this is part of, again, finalizing the year-plus ongoing saga of settling the tax appeal lawsuit and litigation regarding the financial agreements with Accurate Builders, which is now, their lender took their position as Madison Capital.
Okay, so no terms changed.
No terms change except the difference of having two different entities.
All right,
with-
so that's
yeah.
fine. Oh, and just so we don't have to come up again, and we can get to the public speaking for everybody. It was good that, I was glad Mr. Maselli got up and talked and made it quite clear that you guys all have input into the number of units and parking and number of bedrooms. That was really nice. Thanks for the clarification. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Madeline, I apologize. Director Skillender, could I ask you a couple of questions, please?
Certainly.
Out of the 47 pilots that are currently on our books, how many of them were instituted by the prior administration? Approximately.
I mean, backing out the numbers, the prior council, I mean, we've done maybe 15 to 20, so, or, hold on, we started with Silk Lofts.
40%?
No, I take that back. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I'm just going off the top of my head on this, but we got Silk Lofts. We started with, did the.
Is it fair to say
not
that,
sure, just say you're not
right,
sure.
is it
Look, I'm
fair
not
to
sure.
say that a precedent had been set?
Well, absolutely. There is definitely a precedent that was set. The terms of the financial agreements were already, almost agreed upon of the standard clauses. And again, they've been tweaked as the changes of the council, for the needs of that. And again, you were the first one that, talked about in the financial agreements, talking about a community benefit payment.
I
And
was,
then the rest of
thank
the
you.
council, again, bought the idea, and that's why we're now doing that. And we've had the legal discussions of where to put them of, again, it's not in a financial agreement, it's amending the RDA to reflect those terms, but they have to go hand in hand. The redevelopment agreement talks about the ability to build the build the project. The financial agreement talks about the funding aspects of it, and again, what the city's benefit of it. We have, these are ongoing, I think, processes that we are better refining from prior practices, to where something I think that is, more transparent, more open, on the collaboration efforts from the administration to the council and to the developer. So, we are very forceful on what we ask for, but this is also a negotiation process for it. We don't want to lose the ability to, again, have properties sit afoul.
Right.
And we also, at the same point, too, don't want to be in a situation where, the lender, banks don't feel comfortable within our real estate market there. So that's why these financial agreements, are necessary in that process.
And during that process, also, Moody's, which is the financial institution that rates different municipalities, whether or not they are a good investment or a high-risk investment, did in fact raise our investment rating. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
It is.
Yeah.
And so my questions are just to ensure the community that, one, as a council, we do have the community's best interest at heart. I know I do. And I believe that I could say with relative certainty that my colleagues do as well. Having been here long-term, as Keith so very well pointed out, it is not easy to sit here and listen to ongoing ridicule and something that borders almost on harassment. But because it is the community's thoughts and feelings, I think we have an obligation. We chose to be here. We have an obligation to do this. However, what I do want the community to understand is not everything started today. And a lot of these policies and procedures that are in place were put in place, one, to benefit the community, two, as Ms. Nadrowski pointed out, to entice the developers to come here. It was a $30 million deficit in our budget
Yeah, or
12 years ago?
But
12 years, 10 years, 12 years ago, whatever the case may be. Nevertheless, so it did, these programs did enable us to come out of that deficit. There's a lot of things going on. We'll introduce a couple of things at the end of the meeting as well that I'm hopeful we can look at that will benefit the community greater. These contributions that we have asked for from the developers are contributions that we started just recently. It is something that we do not have the ability to mandate. We are asking for the contributions. I don't know that we've ever had a developer say, no, I'm not willing to do that. I do know that we take part in an awful lot of communications and back and forth, and we do give thoughts and ideas. I know we take those thoughts back. Certainly parking is one, because I go through it also. As I said, we have 2 vehicles in our household as well. So I wanted to point out that not all of these financial agreements started today. A good portion of them were started by the prior administration. The precedent had been set. The developers do come to expect that same consideration that was given prior to them as well. And so we do try to continue that in the best way that will serve the city. So,
Councilwoman, I just want to just add something quickly, just so that the public doesn't think, again, there's a 47 active pilot. That means that the projects have been built. Doesn't mean that, again, the pilots that were approved tonight are going to be added to the list immediately. They still have to be, the building has to be built, so there's, for me to, give an accurate number, say, all right, these are 48 through,
sure, and I don't expect that, Joan. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, but nevertheless.
Again, nevertheless, the 47, majority of them, if not most of them, were under the prior administration.
Right. Thank you, Joe.
No, it's okay, no problem. And that's what I was saying about the asking. I appreciate the backup on that.
Anybody else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So moved. Second.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it.
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
07 is an ordinance authorizing an amended and restated financial agreement for a long-term tax exemption for the property located at 110 Goldsboro Drive, which is identified as Block 722, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of June 16th, 2025. It is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance authorizing the amended and restated financial agreement for long-term tax exemption for the property located at 110 Goldsboro Drive, which is identified as Block 722, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Manny West 35th Street. I don't understand much of this dialogue here, I'm sorry, I don't, but what did pop up to me was the Goldsboro Drive. And since we're talking about all this building here, I think I mentioned it, a while back, I got a little carried away, but I think before any new building is done in that area, that situation has to be fixed. I mean, isn't there any way that the council can at least mandate that?
So I've actually met, I'll let Mr. Skillner tell you, but we met, and there is a plan to fix
I
it.
just want to mention one thing. I go to Lidl's, Costco, et cetera. If you go, it's like playing a video game to go out certain entrances. You back, forth, back, forth. So what I do is I go around the gym. If you go around the gym, you could bury a body in some of those potholes. Really.
Look, I
I
agree.
have pictures. I have a thing called Bayonne Watchdog. If you go there, you can see the pictures. But I do have a call into the city engineer, and he will be addressing it. But here again, it's not like, you know, if you told me I'd do it, I'd go out there and know handy, I'll just throw some dirt in there. But it's the city road, but the developer has to take care of it. So once again, you know, if the developer, you know, maybe it's going to get done quickly. You know, the person said they were going to contact him, but the thing is, I don't know, let's work from a power of strength, not weakness. You know, a gentleman over here said there won't be any more buildings if we demand. I think a lot of people would like that. The joke was years ago, when I grew up, they would knock down a one-family house. And they say, you know what's going to happen? Developer's going to buy it, and he's going to put up two families. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I guess I'm talking about my age. Now you knock down a couple of things, and you put up 20-story buildings. And I don't, you know, people wouldn't care if you stopped building. You know, because, you know, I know you do it for the interest of the people, but I think we have to see it. Because when you say you're going to raise our taxes, you're getting all this money in, this and that, but we don't see it.
The
You know,
number
it's-
one thing that's asked of us.
What?
The number one thing that's asked of me, and my colleagues can tell you.
Sure, what my
what's-
hearing aids. Can you speak a little
The
louder?
number one thing that's asked of me as a councilman is to not raise my taxes. And the solution was to get new ratables in. And those developers are the new ratables, and that's the reason why we're able to get that $30 million deficit down.
No, I said that, I appreciate that, but it
So,
seems like we're
but
maybe
I'm-
crossing the bridge now.
But how can you erase that deficit and get more new ratables in? If there's another way to do it, I would love to hear it.
Well, let me tell you,
You
I've
know?
done a
And everything
budget.
went up, not just from COVID, it went up on its own, but then COVID made it go up even more.
I did a budget for 40 years on paper. I don't know if any of you people ever did that. But I made pretty good money in the 80s when I had my own business. When the computers came around, I went to working for like $10 an hour at Seton Hall, shoveling food. But I still did a budget. I couldn't go to you or anybody else and say, hey, my car broke, give me, but you do it. I mean, it's all over, not you guys, the country, everything. You ever hear, you know, I've worked at places where they froze salaries. You got some high salaries in this city. I don't take it away from them. There's no reason a guy can't, there's no reason you can't have a salary freeze once in a while.
We run into some problems, again, I know I've said this before, where the five of us have all come up with great suggestions and things that would benefit the town, and sometimes there's caps and all these different things that limit us on things that we could do. They're made for the public, because this way, there's channels and there's different things that have to be voted on so that the public can see it all. But it limits us sometimes in what we could do. If I could snap my fingers tomorrow and get that Goldsboro Drive fixed,
I know.
you know, we went over a plan with the traffic department, which I'd like
Yes.
you to explain a little bit. Right now, sometimes I guess when things are agreed upon and developed, you don't know what the situation's gonna be like until afterwards. Now, it's swelled so much with the traffic of all these different businesses and the apartments and different things that are built, that you start to see, okay, I gotta change this traffic plan now. So that's what we did. We went down there with Lieutenant Conti from the traffic, and we've figured out some ways now that we need to change. We need to maybe put a divider in the middle where people can't go across, because right now the two driveways are right across from each other, and we actually have people, like you said, playing a
Video
cat
game.
and mouse game to get across from the traffic. It's swelled so much that we know that there's a problem, and there is a fix coming, that I can
Yeah.
tell you.
Just one last thing. I know you guys are doing a good job, and I get passionate. I'm not throwing stones at anybody, but I actually talked to Lloyd, called me up today, and I think maybe he agrees with this. And I'm also checked into town halls in other cities. Newark, in the summertime, they have 2 town hall meetings a month and 4 in the winter. You know, I think there should be a venue where, you know, we're taking up a lot of time here, and there's a lot of other speakers, but maybe consider having town hall meetings, maybe on a topic, maybe each councilman rotates it, and then we could come in here and instead of going through all this other things that a lot of us don't understand, don't care about, we can focus more on this, and maybe back and forth, we could come up, you know, with an idea or two that you like and will like. How's that sound? So, you know, think about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Council President Lapalooza, just to update you on the traffic plan for MOPI. Andy Reichel, who's our special project engineer, is still designing it. He's finalizing his cost estimates on that, where we should have a response by the end of this week on it. But there's a couple design changes. For the most part, it's restriping. And also, again, there's still some of the things that for I think it's Cross Lane that comes out of the entrance that Mr. Dupre was talking about. On that
Cross
specific.
Lane is the name of the street around the gym that you were
Yeah,
speaking
yeah.
about.
The,
When I called up there, they said the city owns it, but nobody knew the name of it.
it's,
We did, but
Yeah.
anyway.
It took a while to find out that the city owned it, but they said the developer's responsible.
the developer is. So what happened was under that redevelopment agreement that was passed, the overall developer for the Costco site is responsible to build that, but when he sold off the residential portion of that, that's the last item that's being finished right now by Madison Capital, and that should be done within this year on that. So Mr. Forgione's entity has to, repave Cross Lane along with Port Imperial Boulevard, I think is the original name.
At least they could fill it. How long does it take to fill it? One day they can get there, put some tar, and they're still in holes. How long does that take? They'll take till the end of the year.
They're still doing construction work again. They're finishing up the walkway along there, so they're bringing the heavy materials of concrete. They're doing the sewer
Well,
lines
we could
along.
check into
Yeah.
some of the big ones and see what we could do about getting them
Yeah.
filled.
And then Director Skillner, is there an update on the Costco entry and exit?
Costco submitted an application to the State Department of Transportation for highway access so that they can get a curb cut onto Broadway, onto 440 on that. And then once when the state, approves that plan, make sure that it conforms with the DOT regulations, then it will come in front of the planning board for it to be heard.
No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye,
And a resolution ordering final passage.
move it.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye,
08 is an ordinance authorizing the sale of the property, authorizing the sale of the land at a private sale to a body corporate and politic pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13B, Section 1. And was introduced and passed first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of June 16th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council president, given the ordinance second reading, would like to second.
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez? Mr. Perez?
Come on, it's you. She's asking you for your vote.
I did,
Yes.
said aye.
Oh. Okay. Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye,
Second reading is by title, an ordinance authorizing the sale of land at public sale to a body corporate and politic pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13B, Section 1. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So move.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
aye,
And a resolution ordering final passage.
move it.
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
09 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 13, Recreation and Other Public Facilities, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of June 16th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution giving the ordinance second reading. Who'd like to move it?
Move it.
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance amending, supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 13, Recreational and Other Public Facilities. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion
Can
to
we
close?
move this on a whole? Is that okay with everybody?
You want to close the hearing as a whole?
I'd just like to make a quick comment. As a veteran myself, and I see here in the statement also says all military veterans honorably discharged out to the public. Please, to all the veterans out there, make sure you have your VA card, and it does say honorable discharge on it, otherwise you won't get in. Thanks.
Right, and I think we collectively believe we can't do enough for these veterans, so that's why we'd do it on a whole.
Okay. So on the motion to close the hearing, Mr. Booker?
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye,
And a resolution ordering final passage as a whole?
as a whole, please.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker?
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
010 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 7, Traffic, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held June 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of July 16th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez. Ms. Weimer, will you second?
Second.
On that resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 7, Traffic. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move it.
Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it.
Second.
And on the resolution for final passage, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Our first speaker is Darlene Denega.
Darlene Denega, 38 Kelly Parkway in Bayonne. Okay. I cry for the geese and also the humans who paid a fee to the USDA to murder animals who have done no harm. One should never be the reason why any animal trembles in fear, cries in pain, or loses their life. Keeping silent while our geese are being tortured to death is morally wrong. I suggest you listen to actual recorded sounds of terrified crying and screaming geese as they're being gassed, which is available from the Animal Protection League of New Jersey. Mothers, fathers, and their babies suffered and died in agony. Tom Carter and the Bayonne City Council condone this unspeakable massacre. We had a variety of non-lethal solutions presented to Tom Carter in 2023. So far, none has been accepted by Mr. Carter. I believe the ultimate evil is knowing what is wrong and looking away when you have the power to make the difference. That is the true evil. Tom Carter made the decision year after year, and the city council approved the contract to gas our geese. His victims never had that choice. Now there's talk about a resolution to no longer allocate money for gas geesing. Will this resolution be renewed every year, or will it be a permanent resolution? And can it be revoked the following year? I ask, what will it take to melt the ice in your hearts and ban geese gassing forever? And I just have something else to say. The area where you, on Fifth Street, when you're going to go onto 440 towards Walmart or whatever, that whole area, there were 4 families of geese, mothers, fathers, and their babies. There were 4 families, and they're not there anymore. And I was told that the USDA cannot come into Bayonne onto private property, because from what I understand, that area is not owned by Bayonne. So what happened to those geese? What happened to the babies? I don't understand it, and I'm really upset. They were, if you saw how cute they were and adorable, and the mother protecting the, the mother and father protecting the babies as you got close, and they're gone. So what happened to them? Who took them and gassed them? And it's private property, from what I understand. And I don't understand it.
First of all, isn't that against, it's their wildlife, so why gas them? Who gassed them? Who gave them that permission to do that? When it's wildlife, they're not supposed to be touched, so why are they being touched? Nobody has an answer? So who approved that, to gas them like that? Is this Germany or what, or Bayonne, what is it? So who did it? Who gave them permission, and who wrote it down on a piece of paper saying that you can gas the geese? Who?
Gary, do you know what happened to those geese?
Do we need a new councilman? I mean, what do we need? New blood in here or something? Really? Because who did it? Who signed the paper to say to do that to wildlife? Because people can be prosecuted for that because they're wildlife. They're not supposed to be touching them. So who did it?
The
I don't know.
USDA.
The city
You don't
council
know?
did not, no.
And you're the council people, but you don't know. So somebody came in here and just did it on their own.
Mr. Dupay, you have a turn coming? Okay, but I think everybody got to speak. We don't
But
want
you
to do a
have to
question and
know.
answer
You
back
just-
and forth, so
I
we
need to ask
need to do
Gary
your
something.
statement.
Gary, can you please look into and find out who slaughtered those geese? The
Right.
families are all
I don't
gone.
know if those geese were slaughtered or moved on. I really
Did the
don't know.
USDA come in and, because then they broke the law, because they're not allowed
I don't know
to
where
go
they
on
came in.
property that is not owned by the
I
city
really
of
don't
Bayonne.
know where they came in, so.
Well,
There's
because
really
they come
no-
at 2 or 3 in the morning, we don't know what they did. Maybe they chased them and
We have
put them in the
something
park? I
further
don't
on
know.
our agenda that will explain a lot of this.
Well, why don't you say it now?
Because it's more prevalent to do it during the resolution.
But who signed it? The paper, because I'm going to call the governor up, because you can.
It's okay.
There is a number, and you can leave it, and I'm going to tell him that nobody admitted right here who signed the paper to kill those geese.
I'll
Wildlife
answer your
in New
questions
Jersey.
when it comes a little further in
Right.
the agenda, I will.
But you should know, though, right?
We do, but I will
Then
answer.
say who it was.
I will answer your
Did you
questions when
sign the
it comes
paper,
up.
too? Did you sign one?
No, I did not. I never
did
signed
not.
a paper,
Well, they
never,
signed a check to pay the USDA to come in and gas the geese.
never.
That's-
I never signed a check either,
So who did it?
so.
Well, let him say who did it. Well, he seems to know. And he's
Well,
not
it's
gonna-
from the
Wait a
information I
second,
got.
wait,
And-
He's
just
the
wait
next
one
speaker.
second. Madeline, who's next on
Mis-
your list?
Mr. Dupre.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Mr. Dupre.
Ken Dupay, 90 West 35th Street. Been playing detective, I want to find out, like she did too, but I'm just going to tell you what I've learned from conversations with several people who I won't, the only person I'll mention is well, let me read this.
It's okay, because I did text you back. You texted me,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
texted you
okay.
back.
Let me get my other glasses on. Well, that's, I'll keep it brief, but to the point here. I've been in communication with a couple of council members. And my understanding is that none of the council members wanted any geese killed. In addition, the city was presented with non-lethal alternatives by the Animal Protection League of New Jersey Wildlife Mitigation Team. Mr. Carter, why did you not go with these
We're not going
non-lethal
to
methods?
do a question and answer. This is your public speaking portion.
Well, how
It's a
people can
statement.
learn? She's asking a question.
Well, there's something coming on later on that I promise you, you'll get some answers from. But I
right,
cannot
all right,
allow
wait,
the
wait.
back and forth during the speaking part.
I'll pose it now as a question then.
Yeah, and if any
If-
question you
if-
have, you have to come through the
All right.
chair first.
If
But-
Mr. Carter, and if he didn't, I think he should be the opportunity to say that he didn't. If he doesn't say it,
I don't want
but-
any, I don't want a question and answer. This is not,
no, all right, but
this is
by,
a statement period.
it's by the people taking the fifth, so that means he
It's
did it.
not. I explained to you. We're going to
I
go
was
through
told,
this.
I don't want to call people's name, I was told that he was in meetings, and I was told that he was asked to cancel the contract, which he could have done up until that day, but he didn't do it. So I think he should be given the opportunity for his sake to respond.
And when the time comes, if Mr. Carter wants to make a statement, I will let him. He doesn't have to, though, for right now.
I know he doesn't have to,
The
but
council is going to address this further on.
you're
in
going to
our-
address it going forward. What about the
No,
things that
we're
were
going to
killed?
address, the things that you're talking about will be addressed.
You will address who
Yes.
ordered the killing of the geese?
Yeah.
Were you going to answer that?
Excuse me, there are agenda items?
Yeah, you have to go, there's some order
Come on,
of this meeting.
let's have some courage here. Stand
Ken,
up if
there's
somebody
gonna
did
be
something,
order in the
stand up for what
meeting,
they did.
And I'm going to explain everything. You will get an
When?
explanation. But let other people speak, because that's their speaking portion as well.
Well, we're discussing this. What are they going to speak about other things? I'll sit down, but, this is, the silence is speaking loudly here.
But Ken, this is the way we do our meeting. You're allowed a statement period and to talk for 5 minutes on anything
Well,
you
that's why
want
you
to
should
talk
have town
about.
meetings then.
But it can't just be questions, because this meeting will go on forever.
It was one question.
It was more than one question.
No. I said, why did you not utilize not lethal methods to Mr. Carter? I'm giving the opportunity. He could tell me that he didn't do it. He's not saying anything,
You're
so
not-
it's a
You can't
disservice
ask
to
questions
him.
of anybody. You have to go through the chair,
All right.
and this is just the public speaking
I'm
portion.
wasting my valuable
I'm
time.
sorry. You'll get information, that I promise you.
Mr. Solari?
Tom Solari, 8 West Grand Street. I had two items I was going to talk about. 1012, 1022 Avenue C, the Jewish temple. I already talked to Ms. Zelli about it, and he told me what's going on. They're moving ahead with it. The other issue I have is uptown, Gary, you know it. It's a crap hole. You got public service digging everywhere. Now you got a water department coming down 49th Street. It was just paved. And they're gonna dig up the street. Won't they, before they dig up the street, won't they go to each house first to see which one has a lead line? Instead of digging up the street to find out, oh, this guy don't have a lead line. He has one. On my block, I'm on West Grand Street. There's 5 houses on that. 5 houses don't have lead lines. But they're gonna close that whole street down. They're gonna dig it all up, and the city's allowing it. I feel that this town, taxpayers, because with all the convenience public services putting us through, like the Bayonne Bridge did, they gave First Street on Boulevard a tax break. Well, they should give everybody a tax break, all the inconvenience that this town's going through, public service. No, what they're doing is they're raising the prices. Also, Goldsberg Drive, you brought up. Wish we could put a concrete barrier down there. If you remember, probably about a month ago, I stood here. Joe Skillender was here. I said, put delineators in. Oh, we can't do that. Put a New Jersey barrier in. Can't do that either. Well, guess what? You should put a New Jersey barrier in. Because you want to know why? The other day, I'm going onto 440, going out to make a left turn. There's 3 lanes now. Because you got the morons going into the turn lane, going to the Costco. Now they're going into that lane. And you know what I did? I cut the person off that was on my left. He wasn't supposed to be there. I had my grandson in the car, and I said, Jaden, what should I do? He said, it's up to you. I said, okay. The car in front of me gave me 5 feet. I hit the gas. I cut him off. He stopped me at the light. I said, what are you going to do? I said, you're wrong. You're still in the left lane. Now you're blocking cars from coming in. So who's going to get the ticket? We have to do something down there.
We will.
I keep on hearing, years ago, I worked for KRE. We had to pave the roads as we got done each building. We had to pave the roadway. That traffic light that was supposed to be on Goldsberg Drive 5 years ago, 6 years ago, should have been in place before KRE got done. Somebody's going to get hurt or get killed, and it's going to be on the city's head. And I want to congratulate the chief of the fire department for his
I had a study done
cadets.
before the Costco was built, and they said it didn't warrant it. Now, we'll
Didn't
have
warrant
to
it.
wait for that.
Before
But I'm in
Costco,
agreement with you about the delineators, too. So these things are coming.
I understand that, but before Costco got built, you had how many units down the lower end of MOT? You had over 200 units, almost 2,000 units down there coming out. I should have opened up, put a light there right away, but no. Now your backs are up against the wall. Car accidents that happen every day, but nobody cares.
Well, we care. We're just waiting for DOT approval for the light.
All right, but put the linears in or New Jersey barriers.
Okay.
Before somebody gets killed over there, because I'm going to keep on cutting people off if they're on my left. I'm going to push, I'm going to make sure they stay in the left lane and they go head on with another car. And I'm going to sit there, be a witness, yeah, he was in the wrong lane. And now I'm going to come back with the pictures and show you what the person looks like then, and see how you like it.
Ms. Nadrowski?
I just, this is not what I was going to talk about, but I just want to address one thing Ms. Weimer said back to me. Yeah, I know that I passed them. I also know there's a lot more. I voted on pilots when I sat up there when we had a $30 million structural deficit. When I left sitting up there, we were down to single digits in the deficit. I think we're back up. And we use them for a purpose. Also, when I left, the last ones we made, we were not doing anything more than 15 to 10 years. So unless the deficit has gone completely out of control. And another thing, you mentioned Moody's. The fact that our Moody's rating went up means that these developers should be able to get better financing without incentive because the rating went up. You know that better than most people sitting up there. So that's another actual reason why the pilots don't have to be as long as they are or the terms don't have to be as great as they are because they can get financing because of the rating increase. But what I really came here to talk tonight about is I was down at the fireworks last week, and I'll just say that it was great, but I was there in the beginning, and there was an incident down there with kids with fireworks, and I just want to commend the cops. It was a lot. They were chasing these kids. A firework almost went off into they were shooting them in the air, and the cop got them, and they dropped it on the ground. One cop stepped on it. Otherwise, it would have shot into the crowd because it was still shooting. It kind of blew up his shoe a little, but, you know, he definitely saved people from getting hurt. There was only like three kids, I think, that got arrested and taken away, and then the rest of the night wound up being a beautiful night. So I condemn them. It was a very hot day. They're all in full uniform, full gear, you know, and, you know, I just want to say they did a good job, and I appreciate that, and the rest of the evening wound up being very enjoyable. So thank you to the Bayonne Police.
Thank you.
Mr. Nadrowski, I'd just like to address, I agree with you 100%. I happened to be at that event, and early on there was some juvenile delinquency, to put it lightly, was happening in the Bayonne Police Department. I don't say that simply because I am a former police officer, but the uniforms were outstanding, and they did save a lot of people from being hurt. It was under control. Some people were detained, and moving forward, the event went over without a hitch. And I just, again, I commend the Bayonne Police Department, and the DC is here, and I also want to say that to the fire department also. They were involved, and I agree with you 100%. They should be noted about that. Thank you.
Mr. Gallant?
Good evening. My name is Keith Gallant, 25 East 23rd Street. I'm here tonight because of what I believe, or at least from my perception and my lived experience, is a rise in hatred and bigotry in Bayonne. And I wrote an op-ed, and I didn't publish it or send it to the news outlets. I was counseled by some very smart, trusted people to come here first and give you a chance to address what I believe is an issue. So last month, when the mayor posted on Facebook about the raising of the LGBTQ pride flag, it should have been a symbol of progress. Instead, it triggered over 450 comments, many of them hateful. It was a digital wave of bigotry that can no longer be ignored. This wasn't an isolated incident. A similar reaction happened in response to the Bayonne Medical Center raising the pride flag. Also last month, a Jersey Shore publication intentionally published an article completely misrepresenting the raising of the Juneteenth flag in Bayonne over the American flag. That could have easily been fact-checked, but it wasn't. They went ahead and published what they knew was a falsehood and misinformation. That should leave us all asking why it wasn't fact-checked and what the real agenda was behind publishing that story. Bayonne has a long documented history of exclusion, from its role in slavery and redlining to the present-day culture of denial. Many residents still act as if diversity is something to fear and not embrace. And when that mindset goes unchecked, make no mistake, it poisons the entire community. Bigotry doesn't damage just reputations. It hurts people and drives money out of the city. LGBTQ residents, people of color, and younger generations are spending their dollars elsewhere, where inclusion is real and it's not just performative. Bayonne doesn't suffer from a few bad apples. It suffers from a refusal to reckon with its past and its present. But here's the truth, in my opinion. Bayonne can change. The pride flag was a start, but it must be followed by real leadership, honest conversation, public discourse, and a bit of public courage. If this city chooses honesty over denial, inclusion over fear, it can finally become what it claims to be, a place for everyone. I'm here today to ask the council and the mayor to take a stand and issue a public statement denouncing expressions and actions of bigotry and hate in Bayonne, to let everybody know this is not what Bayonne is about, stands for, or tolerates. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I apologize, Council President. I'm responding to Ken, because Keith, because as he said, he did reach out to me. He does live in the Second Ward. He's a wonderful, I know him to be a wonderful part of the community, provides a tremendous service, and has just become a friend. That from the man that yelled at me the first time I met him, but I'll take ownership of that. It was my fault. Nevertheless, Ken, on behalf of the entire city, I'm sorry. I apologize that is the feelings that you have garnered and how you are meant to feel uncomfortable in your own home and within the community that you chose to be a part of. I'm very happy to issue that statement in favor, just as you ask. I won't speak for my colleagues. I think I can speak for them in saying that that is not a culture that we would ever look to enhance or to encourage here within the city. It's not who we are. And so I don't think you're going to have much of an issue certainly with myself coming on board. And I was able to, although I did not receive the email in advance, I was able to give my colleagues copies of your communication, so they do have it. I'll, of course, let them offer their own comments, but you have my full support.
I just want to offer another perspective. If this hate and bigotry was directed at black or brown people, the city would come out and say something and denounce it immediately. If it was directed towards women with sexism and misogyny, the city would get on board and come out and denounce it immediately. But it seems when it's directed towards LGBTQ people, and I won't use the slurs that I feel I'm entitled to use, it gets a pass. And I'm just not standing for it anymore. I started the business of growing the flowers here because I was tired of sitting at home and watching this culture continue to grow in Bayonne. And I decided to raise the bar and show people there's a better way to be kinder and gentler and more accepting. And we need leadership from the city to get on board and at least start sending the messaging that that's what we believe in and that's what we stand for.
Absolutely.
We'll do our part to get a resolution together, and I think I speak for my colleagues that we embrace diversity in this town, and we'll prove it to you.
Thank you.
Keith, Councilman Booker, again, real quick, I just want to say to you, you mentioned two flags that I am very closely related to. I have several family members who are part of that community, and I totally support everything that you say. Thank you for coming out and saying that and mentioning both flags, Juneteenth and the LGBTQ plus community. The fact of the matter is that most people need to hear what you have to say because I am a lifelong resident of Bayonne. I don't want to belabor the conversation, but the fact of the matter is I've always defended Bayonne. It's like it's family. I love Bayonne and I say it completely and wholeheartedly and honestly. The fact of the matter is families fight. Families don't agree all the time. Families have growing pains.
Yes.
And that's what Bayonne is doing right now. Bayonne is actually in the midst of a growing pains. But everybody is welcome in this town, and diversity should be welcomed, and I'll do everything in my power, and I will say it loudly, that I support everything that you said. I didn't get a chance to read your thing, but I will definitely read it tonight. Matter of fact, I'm looking forward to it, and anything that I can do, please reach out to me, and I just thank you for that, and the general public should hear that message.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Inserino?
Good evening, council members, city clerk, everybody here. When last I saw you, I think it was back in April. I'm sorry about my throat. I've been very sick over the weekend, and my throat is a little iffy. I saw you in April when I was trying to advocate for my taxi license appeal. I have not heard a word since then, and as I'm sure Ms. Medina can attest, I've been around trying to find out what's going on, so I figured I should come down tonight and find out if there's anything you still require from me in order to expedite that appeal, and if not, when you think that this appeal might come to a resolution for better or worse. I'd really like to get my life back and either be driving a cab down in Bayonne or not. So it's been 3 months, I think. So do you have any idea when that might actually be decided?
I think we can decide by next month. I think.
Okay. So
I think at one point we had it on the agenda. Did we, Ms. Medina? I'm
We
not
had
sure.
we had the hearing. We haven't come to a,
Okay. So I think we could come to a decision by next month. And we've heard your appeal. We have your letter, and we're going to further discuss that. All right?
Okay.
I don't want to speak for anybody else as far as decision-wise, but by next month, if you come, we'll have a decision.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's all I can add.
Mr. Resigno?
Good evening. Mike Masigno with the Bayonne Nature Club. First, I'd like to make an announcement that the Bayonne Nature Club will be doing a cleanup at Ahern Stadium this Saturday morning between 9 and 11 o'clock. We'll bring the supplies, the pickup sticks, and the bags. We just need volunteers to come out to that new walkway area by Ahern Stadium where they have the new gazebo. And also that the cleanups are done on the waterfront that's being developed now. Bayonne was such an industrial town. I mean, Newark Bay was totally polluted. Members of our club remember swimming in it, and they'd come out purple from the dye company that was over by Rakowski Park now. And also, I'd like to thank the Passaic Sewer Valley and Carter and the Department of Public Works for that job they did cleaning up Rakowski Beach and also removing the jet ski from behind the boatwork area, and that these areas are being cleaned up now, and it's bringing nature back. And as the industrial area left, they did lose, you lost your money. That was jobs, big jobs. And it's being cleaned now. And with that, the developers are building buildings, and they need areas, walkways for the public. And we're benefiting from that. The walkway out at LaFont Way and the golf course used to be a garbage dump. I mean, it is now a nature preserve. It's just magnificent. The west side is beautiful with the walkways, and it goes from Collins Park all the way to the Rakowski area. And in that, the birds have returned. I mean, we now have clapper rail families down by LaFont Way off the golf course, also on the other side, the old Motby, which has all been developed now, and new walkways are going in. As I speak, they're building it now from the LA Fitness to connect up the other way. This is terrific. We have yellow-crowned night herons that last I spoke, that I was hoping that the Bayonne City Council and the Bayonne City will name the yellow-crowned night heron the bird of Bayonne. Last time I was here, we had 16 nests. The nests have gone to 21 nests, and we've counted over 50 chicks. 50 chicks now, and these nests are scattered throughout Bayonne. Now, nature's coming back. It's building itself. We have great blue herons, great egrets. We're also looking at, just the other morning, we had black skimmers along the Bayonne Inlet, where they're putting in the new walkways and stuff. So I'm hoping that the development keeps coming and it keeps cleaning the waterways and the industrial area that was left by these companies, which had to be chased down by, with the help of the Riverkeeper, Hackensack Riverkeeper, which worked tirelessly to go after these companies and clean up the messes that they left. And all these things that were left in Bayonne are now being cleaned up with money from all kinds of sources, and we'll take any money we can get from any of them to open these waterways again to nature, bringing the fish back, the crabs, and everything else, and so the public can enjoy these walkways. And I know City Council, the Planning Board, and members of everybody here have been working to keep this area clean and open it up again for the public and the environment so that we can enjoy it. And I'm going to also put the plug in for that kayak launch on the east side with the Bayonne Inlet there, while they're putting in now. I see they started work on the ferry, and the walkway's continuing. So, keep up the good work in that respect, and I'm looking forward to hearing about the yellow-crowned night heron to be named the official bird of Bayonne. Thank you very much. And everybody will enjoy it, and they'll all go out looking for the nest. Thank you.
The Hackensack Riverkeeper, I had a discussion with him recently, and he said the water in the Hudson Bay is the cleanest it's been in over 70 years.
Yes. Yes, they've been doing
We're
testing.
progressing in the right direction.
Yes, they've been doing testing. They actually test 3 places in Bayonne, and they have that the chart of what they've come up with the Hackensack Riverkeeper has it on the website and
70
stuff.
years, that's quite a...
Yeah, and we also have over 8 osprey nests that you can see from the Bayonne shores here. So the ospreys, and they're getting good fish out of there.
And Mike, did you see the turkeys?
Yes.
away. There's a lot of wild turkeys.
There's a lot
two
of
that I
wildlife
see,
that's coming back,
especially
yes.
up by the county park. It seems
Yes.
to like that Avenue B area.
And these are good things, and Bayonne's doing good to keep them going and bringing them back like that.
And a couple young deer sightings as well down
Oh,
by
no.
440.
Now, don't forget just to name that Yellow Crown Night Heron. I don't know what I have to do.
We're gonna visit
I can
that
give you a tour
next
if you
month.
want.
You guys are giving us a lot of stuff.
Okie
so.
dokie, yes. Because people just love it, and it's huge tourism, you know, people come from hundreds of miles to see a Yellow Crown Night Heron nest with their chicks.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Nicola Porfido.
Good evening, Nicola Pugliafido, 715 Broadway. I have just one concern. May I? So a picture is 1,000 words. I'm here on behalf of the the two building concerned that the driveway. The big issue is the driveway with the hydrant. How we can solve that problem? People constantly, repeatedly, always parking there. It caused me a personal trouble with the justice because I was kind of violent, and I'm afraid I'm going to be even more violent in the future. There was a gentleman with me live in the building that he have to leave because the wife doesn't feel well. Another gentleman for the next building, he couldn't make it because tonight he was stayed up at work overtime. So I'm the only voice to represent both buildings. Everything I've been trying to solve that problem is a failure. I call many times the police, like I've been told, and the answer is always the same. I'm sorry, Bayonne is booming, it's exploding. We don't have enough cabs to send them over. This is not an emergency. I get tired, okay? People love to park in that spot. Just to come back not too long ago, this afternoon, around 2:30, if you look at the picture, a car parking right on the middle of the driveway, a coming, a beeping, the guy is moving. He's moving just one step up in front of the bakery, which only has one car parking in front. And then all the street, it was free parking. As soon he moving, I go into the driveway, the guy back up and parking back there, with all the parking in front of him, by the bagel up to the Bank of America. So that parking, it cost me almost jail time. I'm facing a court, the end of this month in the Superior Court, because last month, there was a car parking, it blocked the entire driveway, and these people nowhere to be found. Half an hour, beep the horn, call the police 3 times. As soon as the police arrived, a bitch, sorry the word, he came from the store just across the street, Botanica shop, Botanica, a spiritual store. As soon as he saw the police come out, this bitch again, he come out, oh, I'm moving. Oh, now you realize you got to move the car. So you are a present that you did on purpose. You left the car. You know you're going to be in the store tied up for so long. You don't have no decency. Okay? I'm asking you, how are we going to solve this problem, or what we can do to try to solve the problem in permanent way? All the questions I've been asking for the help have been denied. Okay? Call the police, the non-emergency number is not the solution. The police arrived the other day, okay? After the mess happened, and I called the police 3 times, when they finally decided to send a police on the place, 2 patrol cars, they said, they don't even have the decency to ticket these people, to cause the trouble. So I ended up kind of pay the price, the victim, I guess the abuse for people. What we can do to solve the problem permanently?
So it is a police issue that we have to have the police enforce this. We have police here, we have some of our higher-ups. When you're finished speaking,
Oh,
I'm going to
yes.
ask one of them to approach you and see what we could do, maybe some sort of patrol or something of that nature. The police will know better than I what we're going to do to change this, to make sure you get satisfaction.
Any sign is to discourage people to parking is if you look at the picture,
Yes.
the driveway is like internal, so people when they arrive on the spot, they cannot see against the wall that
Well, the
little.
lines are pretty bright, so I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. Why
I
can't
mean,
they see the lines?
they removed a tree. I was told that they cannot put a pole with the sign. Why cannot pull a pole with the sign? They got to do something about all the solution they try to attempt, they fail. There is no solution up to today unless we make something new.
Okay. Thank you, but the police, I'll make sure one of them see you before.
Or is that ours?
Do you have a way to make a copy?
I already took a picture of it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I
Thank you.
already
We'll,
sent it.
we'll make sure you get
I
some
really
action.
look forward, because in the building, there is also a father with the little kids. This is supposed to come in tonight, you know, and then it could be an emergency too. So somebody got to stop, we got to try to discourage to park in there.
You have
That's
the parking behind the buildings, right? So you need the
Of
driveway to
course.
go behind.
Yeah, we're going to do
Okay.
the driveway, yes.
Okay,
For both buildings.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
It just says Madeline. It's not me. She's not here. Okay. What's that? Okay.
There's two no parking zones if you see it. One, the yellow for the hydrant, the white for the driveway, yeah.
But people, they challenge me while being
On the other side too?
Okay. Moving forward, an ordinance for introduction. It is approving a financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and 15 East 23rd Street Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 15-21 East 23rd Street, which is identified as Block 198, Lots 1 and 2, as shown on the official tax map of the city. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez fixing Wednesday, August 13th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for public hearing and final passage. Ms. Weimer, will you second? Second. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
12 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 10, Taxation and Special Improvement Districts, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, August 13th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for public hearing and final passage. It's moved by the Council President. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
13 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 24, Water and Sewer Service, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, August 13th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for public hearing and final passage. It's moved by the Council President. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On that resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
14 is amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 7, Traffic, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, August 13th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. It's moved by Councilmember Perez. Ms. Weimer, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
15, excuse me, Mr. Dupre? Excuse me?
Mr. Dupay, please.
Thank you. 15 is an ordinance approving a financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and the Bayonne Energy Center Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 401 Hook Road, which is identified as Block 419, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city. And a resolution fixing Wednesday, August 13th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Who would like to move it?
Move it.
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
O16 has been withdrawn. Communications is a resolution moved by the council as a whole, ordering the following communications to be received and filed. It covers C1 through C7. Any questions on the communications? And on the communications, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Officers' reports is a resolution moved by the council as a whole, ordering the following of officers' reports to be received and filed, and any resolutions incorporated within them to be adopted. It covers OR1 through OR2. Any questions on the officers' reports? And on the officers' reports, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Consent resolutions is moved by the council as a whole, and it is a resolution ordering the following resolutions to be adopted. It covers CR1 through CR17. CR18 is being removed from the consent. Any questions on the consent resolutions? You said CR14? 8, 9, and 14. Okay.
18 is going to be a resolution. isn't
Yeah,
it?
but that's,
Mhm.
it's not a consent anymore,
Right.
so. So on the remaining consent resolutions, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
CR8 is authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an agreement with the Bayonne Economic Opportunity Foundation to provide the cost of supplemental remediation investigation, reciprocal evaluation, remedial investigation report, remedial action analysis, and remedial action plan for the former Holy Family School from Matrix New World Engineering for the amount not to exceed $43,270 for a period of 1 year commencing September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2025.
First of all, was that a increase of, I just didn't bring it with me. Was it an increase or is it a new? Because it says 24 to 25, that's why I was asking.
CBDG goes from September of
Oh,
24
okay.
into the.
So, I'm a big fan of, of the Head Start and everything they do over there. But my concern is, we bought this building in 2018 maybe. I know there was a delay. And there was a delay because of COVID. And this is where our Head Start's moving. We're selling off the buildings that they're in now. You have that on the agenda. It was passed already. We have a backlog. We have a long list of people who are trying to get into the program. It was an agreement with the Board of Ed to house some of the kindergartens there because we didn't have enough room for them. My question is, this is remediation. I would think at this point, almost 10 years into the process, or 7 years, that the remediation was done. I know that Senator Menendez just gave, or Congressman Menendez just gave another $5.7 million, I think, to get this done. And it can't get done soon enough. My question is what can we do to no longer? It shouldn't really take this long to rehab this building. And I was just concerned about the mediation, why we're doing remediation 10 years in and trying to get it certified. I would have thought it would have been done before this. I'm just saying, I just don't want to see more delays. So I'm just offering my opinion. You don't have to call me up on the next one because it's the same thing. It's just concerned about the delay and the impact it is to our children, especially our most vulnerable, our Head Start kids. There just isn't enough, and people are actually being denied services because there's a waiting list. That's, really just plain not acceptable.
Yes.
So on CR8, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
CR 9 is authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an amendment to agreement number CY 240995 with the Bayonne Economic Opportunity Foundation to provide community development block grant funds in the amount of $39,740 to cover the cost of remedial investigation of the soil at the former Holy Family School by Matrix New World Engineering, to increase said agreement in the amount of $13,290 for additional services, making the total contract $53,000 and $53,030. And on that one, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye. I just want to answer something to what you said. So I'm not exactly sure why they're investigating the soil, which I will find out, and we'll let you know for sure. But I think it was something new that happened, obviously, that wasn't included before. So I don't know if it could be something like an oil tank or something of that nature. But I'm not sure, but I will find out.
CR 14 is authorizing the use of the maximum allowable bid threshold pursuant to NJSA 48:11-3, Section C.
Yeah, could you please explain what the old threshold was, and is this a blanket, or are you using it for a certain project?
No, every 5 years, as per the local public contracts law, the state treasurer has the ability to increase the bid threshold. So on July 1st, the treasurer increased it from $44,000 to $53,000 for towns that have a registered QPA.
So what this means is that for projects, just for those who don't know, projects that, if it's going to be less than that, then you don't have to go out to public bid?
Correct.
But that's optional for you. You have to opt into this, right? You're raising it.
No, this is the local public contracts law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every 5 years, they increase it. It's been going up every 5 years.
Okay. So, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And on CR 14, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
How are you addressing CR 18?
Yes.
Okay.
So I would like to read the resolution, and this will answer some of your questions, and if not, I will answer the rest of them, okay? Both Darlene and Mr. Dupay. Whereas the city of Bayonne is a peninsula bordered by the Newark Bay, the Kilvan Cull, and the New York Bay, and whereas there are open grassy spaces near water, there are geese, and where there are geese, there are droppings. And whereas the increased influx of geese into the city of Bayonne increases the potential for damage to public parks and private property, as well as elevating the potential for the spread of diseases found through contact with the geese, geese feces, and the unsanitary and unsafe conditions created by the presence of an overabundance of geese. Whereas many people have problems with these otherwise mostly harmless birds, and conflicts with geese have historically led to inhumane, ineffective, and unnecessary roundups and killings. And whereas since 1999, the United States Department of Agriculture Wildlife Services Agency has been engaged in lethal culls of geese, primarily in urban or densely populated areas. And whereas the city of Bayonne recently allowed a federal agency to implement the culling of geese within the city's parks, whereas this municipal council was not asked to authorize or support said culling, and whereas there has been great outrage on the part of Bayonne citizenry as a result of the culling, and whereas this municipal council is similarly outraged that said culling took place, now therefore be it resolved that the municipal council of the city of Bayonne, New Jersey, as follows. Section 1, there's 5 sections to this. This municipal council hereby rejects the idea that the culling of geese is a necessity. Section 2, this municipal council hereby rebukes the administration's recent choice to cull geese. Section 3, this municipal council hereby demands that the administration refrain from any future cullings of any type without first having the approval and consent of the municipal council. This restriction, Section 4, shall not apply to individual or small groups of wild animals that may need to be administered to by exterminators and/or animal control officers. And Section 5, this resolution shall take effect immediately. So what I would like to do is take a vote on this, and if you have any questions on this resolution, I'll ask the public, you could come up and speak about it. Or would you rather do that before the vote? We'll do that before the vote, Madeline.
Okay.
So if anybody has a question, wants to come up?
Ken Dupay, 90 West 35th. We all make mistakes. I think there's a mistake here, made here. And I think it takes a man to stand up and admit it. And that's what I'm looking for. I think the council, if the council made a decision, I don't know, like
Well,
you, I've been in
just
the
heard
middle.
that we didn't make a decision. That
What?
We did not make a decision
No,
about it.
no. Well, like, I'm used to the chain of command, so I don't know in the city who's higher, you guys or the Department of Public Works. But if your, not decision, if your recommendations, because I understand, I've made a lot of calls. I spoke to this, whatever it's called here. I spoke to someone at the Animal Protection League. And I was informed that they had meetings prior to this, offering all these alternatives. They use border collies, they use bird control, on and on. And also, even if a contract was signed, it could have been canceled. So here again, I can't ask a question, but I think it's in due respect to the person who approved that, to give them the opportunity to say why they made that decision to kill the geese instead of doing it humanely.
So a little background. A little over a year ago, I met with Darlene, I don't know if you were in the room, Doreen Fraga. Okay, well, a little over a year ago, I said, okay. And they and you asked me, why is the city killing geese? And I said to you, I don't know anybody in the city of Bayonne who kills an animal or is trained to kill an animal. So it's a matter of the right questions. Unbeknownst to me, I did not, when I asked Mr. Carter, he had told me of the process. The federal government comes in and rounds these up. But again, not knowing that we're paying for that service. I thought the government came in and did what they did on their own and didn't ask us for anything. This year, it was made public to me that we are actually, the city, paid money for that service for the federal government to come in, and they do that in a lot of other places. So when I met with Doreen recently, she gave me this book. And Mr. Carter, to his credit, at least, is willing to try and implement some of these changes. So I have to give him credit for that he's willing to look into it. The people from CARE had said that they would even pay for some of the changes.
Right.
So-
You're not answering my question, though, excuse me, if I may.
Okay, so-
Why was the decision made to kill them as opposed to look for alternatives?
So
I'm not getting that, I want a direct answer.
They gather the geese, and what they do with the geese is, I don't know what they do with the geese. So when you asked me, what did they do with the geese on 440, I don't know if they were rounded up or not.
Well, shouldn't somebody know that, who was, when you sign a contract with somebody, you should look what's being done?
I don't think Mr. Carter knows
Well,
individually
I can't ask you a
which.
question. My understanding was he was part of that discussion where they were offering alternatives. So that's why he's not given the opportunity to say, if he gave a good reason, then,
Well,
you don't
I
have to
don't know
pick
the
on him.
reason why, but I could tell you that.
Can he
when I
speak for
found
himself?
out- just wait a minute. When I found out, I was outraged myself.
Okay.
That we were paying for it. And so that's why, at the last caucus meeting, I said, we're going to do this resolution. Now, we changed the resolution and made it longer to do all this stuff. But as far as somebody to blame or whatever, I don't know if that's really the case here.
Well, I think
to blame
there has to be, any place I've worked, somebody does something wrong, there's repercussions. At the very least, an apology. Well, you can't do it, Gabe, but you're not going to satisfy me what
Mr.
you're telling me.
Dupay, if I can, I don't know if the microphone's working, but if I can, Mr. Dupay. The administration The executive branch is different than the legislative branch.
Which is the council.
Right, they're the council, they're the legislative branch. Administration does things with, as far as the running of the city of Bayonne goes, without a daily check with the council. A decision was made by the administration to cull the geese. Whether that was good, bad, or indifferent is subject to argument. The council has expressed its displeasure with, this is not working right, has expressed its displeasure with the administration's decision to go through with the culling. And you're right, there are several alternatives. I know other towns that have utilized the dogs, for example. And people show
And
up
the
at
county parks do not utilize the U.S. wildlife either. They have a company, separate company come in.
Geese chasers.
Geese chasers, but we also have other alternatives with cap guns that's.
I understand what you're saying, but aren't we talking about teamwork here?
Yeah, and everyone.
Does one person have the authority to make a decision to kill something rather than use alternatives? And that person's not given the opportunity to speak. That's what I don't understand.
Well, I think that person's actions speak for themselves. And the administration has not admonished that individual. A choice was made on behalf of the administration to pursue this channel. I do know in other communities where they have dogs come and bother the geese, people show up at those council meetings and complain that the dogs, it's a horrific thing to do to the geese. It throws off their mating habits, and they do bond with one mate, and people complain about that. Some people don't want anything to be done to the geese. So what I'm saying is, from the administration's behalf, I know you're looking for something from Mr. Cotter. I think the decision was made by the administration to go forward with this. I don't know if that'll happen again, given the opposition to it.
Well, I don't know. I'm just not satisfied. I understand what you're saying, but it's not going to satisfy many of us. You kill the families and babies and everything, you know.
I understand.
I hope he goes to sleep dreaming about it.
I understand that.
Gary, in 2023, when we had that meeting with the Animal Protection League, Angie Metler, who's the president, Doreen Frager, myself, you, and Tom Carter, and we brought an award-winning architect to do modification, habitat, and we even offered to pay because you didn't want to put the money out. We offered to try a program, like a little pilot program, and you didn't do that either. You chose, and Tom Carter, this year, 2 weeks ago, he could have called the USDA and canceled that, and these families would not have been gassed. It is such a...
I spoke to Mr. Cotter, and the
wait a minute,
culling had already started.
It is so painful. A 45-minute of your burning inside out. These are babies, little babies with their mothers and fathers. I can't wrap my head around the suffering and the pain that they went through because of him. All he had to do was call. He would have gotten a refund. He would have gotten his money back, and he stopped doing this to innocent beings who've done no harm to anyone. I'm really angry about it, and I have been crying over this because those families, those 4 families that I saw every day when I go shopping, they're gone. Imagine dying that way. It's not a quick death. It's a slow, awful, painful death. And it should not have happened. It should never have happened.
Well, this council agrees, and that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Okay, but will this be permanent? We're never going to gas the geese again?
It's permanent, and it's permanent unless some other council comes in and changes it. Or the same council, but we're not going to do that.
Okay, so, all right.
Well, the 5 of us are in agreement with this.
But still, he has blood on his hands.
Okay, I think that's enough. I don't think that's right to say that.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding a section of the resolution when it comes to animal control. So if I am a property owner and I have a family of geese who have somehow gotten into my attic, I am by law allowed to have animal control or pest control or something where the lives of those geese could be terminated Am I understanding that part of the resolution clearly?
So not geese, but necessarily, even though you mentioned that, but exterminators, things like that, if you have a mouse problem or something of that nature, I would think they would still have the right
Right,
to
but
come
we're on
in.
the subject of geese, so
Yeah.
let's keep it to the geese. So is that, I just want to make sure so everybody understands that if the geese do come onto private property, that the resolution allows the property owner to hire people to terminate the lives of the geese.
I think a more accurate,
I just want to make sure we've got clarity on where the rights of the property owner are and the impact on the lives of the geese. That's all I'm
a
asking.
more accurate representation of the resolution, over here, of the resolution would be that the municipality is only talking about this, the legislative branch is saying we don't want the administration to do anything like that, cull geese. There is a caveat at I think the last paragraph says small groups of animals that need to be addressed by animal control services or an exterminator are not covered by this, and this certainly doesn't go to private property. This is just an admonition to the administration to don't do this again.
Okay, and I get that. I just want to try and be conscious and aware that, you know, property owners, right, we deal with, everybody deals with pests, whether they're raccoons, skunks, geese. And I just want to make sure that the rights of the property owners to deal with pests, even geese, what I'm suggesting is that there's a resolution on the table that may need to be clearer about where and how that the property owners deal with geese takes place. Okay, that's all.
This resolution doesn't speak to private property owners. It
Okay.
speaks only to the administration.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to make sure that,
You still have the right to call an animal control company or animal care company.
right. I mean, I'm not in favor of killing animals. I'm an animal lover too. It sounded like there might be some gray area here. Yeah, yeah. All right, thank you.
On C,
Not in Bayonne. We're not going, the council is not going to agree to that. I told you, nobody up here has signed anything.
so on CR 18, Mr. Booker.
Can we do it as a whole? Is that okay?
Well, you moved it as a whole, you have to vote on it separately.
Okay.
So, Mr. Booker? Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R1 is moved by Council President Perez, designating the property located at 120-122 West 33rd Street, which is identified as Block 143, Lot 28, as a non-condemnation area in need of redevelopment, and authorizing the planning board to prepare a redevelopment plan pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. Ms. Weimer, will you second? Mhm. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez? Aye. Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R2 is moved by the council president approving the traffic control plan and fencing plan for the property located at 736-746 Avenue E, which is identified as Block 393, Lot 3.03. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R3 is designating the property located at 15-23 East 33rd Street, which is identified as Block 140, Lots 3, 4, 5.01, and 5.02 as a non-condemnation area in need of redevelopment, and authorizing the preparation of a redevelopment plan pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. And it's seconded by the council president. And we have a speaker.
Mr. Patel, you want to state your name and? Thank you.
My name is Chris Patella. I'm an attorney here in Bayonne, and I represent RDA Realty, number 2 LLC. Just like to start off by saying that I'm going to kind of quote Shakespeare a little bit. The rumors of my client's demise have been greatly exaggerated. There is no intent for them not to go ahead with this project. As a matter of fact, I have in my hand a letter of intent, which is being circulated tomorrow for signature. And once that's done, it will take us probably 10 working days to finalize the PSA, where my clients will be selling their property, which is known as the Holiday Tree and Trim property, to the developer. So we wholeheartedly endorse this application, and we're moving forward with this sale, and we know that that will take place shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.
So on R3, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez? Aye. Ms. Weimer?
Nay.
Mr. La Palusa?
No. What I think we want to see, myself, I don't want to speak for Jackie, but this has gone back and forth several times, and it needs to be a signed contract that I get to see. I appreciate you coming up. It's not that I don't trust your word, but this has changed several different times, and I would feel more comfortable seeing the actual contract signed.
Council President, just so you know, now that you have by virtue of a tie, the area need designation has died. It's going to have to go back through the process again if you want this to do that. You could alternatively, I will leave it to Mr. Coffey, cancel that vote, Mr. Coffey. I don't know how that works. I'm not a municipal attorney on that side, and do this next month. I would rather see us wait for that contract than see this die, because I think this second phase is going to help us get more parking for the city. And I think it would be a shame for us to deny it at this point, because I think this second phase, which is unrelated to the first, is a good, and it can independently move. It's a good project, and I would either ask that you reconsider it and let us move forward, because it is unrelated to the first phase, which you just heard Mr. Patella, it's going to move, or that you table it, or cancel your vote and push this to another month.
Procedurally, there would be a motion to reconsider the resolution that was just not passed. And upon reconsideration, there would be no second. Actually, no, you'd have to vote to reconsider it first. That vote to reconsider would then have to pass. And then on that reconsideration, there would be a vote on a motion and a second to vote on designating the property at 15-33 East 33rd Street. And then if there's no second, it doesn't go through. But it effectively negate the vote that was just taken.
And it would mean that there was no action taken on it, and it can be put scheduled
Correct.
for another
So
month.
the motion that one of the council members have to make would be to, A, reconsider and void the vote that was just taken. Reconsider the resolution and void the the vote that was just taken. A vote on that, and then it gets reconsidered, and if there's a motion and no second, it was never turned down, it just wasn't acted upon.
So with that, is there a motion to reconsider?
So before we go forward, though, Mr. Patella had said within 10 days. So if that's a consideration, and Ms. Weimer has to also, she would have to reconsider her vote as well. By the next meeting, I would think I'd need to see, not a vote, but I mean, I would need to see a signed contract by, obviously, your clients. And your clients have gone back and forth, and there's been a lawsuit and all these other things going on. So this is the reason why we're at the point where we're at.
And I understand that, and I only ask that the council consider that first phase litigation has literally nothing to do with the second phase. And I know that's an intellectual argument, it's a logical argument, and that I understand you want to see a signed contract. Even if let's walk down the worst case scenario. Let's say the Iangers are serious. They want to not get condemnation. They vote, they win the lawsuit, and we can't use their property. No, we can't buy their property to develop it because the condemnation can't go through. The area need no longer is in effect. It's out. We can still develop this phase. The one that's in front of you tonight, we can still do that. And that has a city parking lot in it. And we mean to give back a significant amount of parking that the city won't be able to build itself, and we're going to build. And we're going to give back spaces. And that's
the
that.
only reason that I will reconsider this is because, and you heard me mention it
Yes.
many times about the parking garage and how important that is.
Agreed. And that's why I don't want to see this fail.
Waiting on me.
I think so.
To,
So the motion is to reconsider R3 and reject the vote that was taken.
and I'm happy to move that, that motion forward to reconsider. And I'm happy to table it until the following month. I would, Attorney Patella, you were not the attorney that put forth that filed the pending action, are you? You are not. So you do not, right. So with that being said, you can represent that the intent is there to move forward with a purchase and sale agreement, but you cannot guarantee it. Is that fair?
Oh, no, I'll stand here and guarantee it. From our side, the Young Angers will be signing this PSA.
Right.
Okay, but
If
what I
memory
think the-
serves, you guaranteed it once before, and now I have a pending litigation. You represented in the past that that property was going to be sold and that it was all going to take place, but now we have a pending litigation.
Okay, and that, I've already spoken to the overzealous attorney who moved forward with that bit of...
We don't know any of those, by the way.
No, we don't. I'm too old to be an overzealous litigator anymore. But that will be, and I said to him, we are going to contract, and you are dismissing that complaint. Is that correct? And he said yes.
Okay. And what is the
and my
length of that
clients,
contract?
Both Doctors Iyengar,
Yep.
Mr. and Mrs.,
Yep.
are on board with that also. Spoke with Mrs. Iyengar, Dr. Iyengar, Rika Iyengar today. Her husband wasn't available, he was in court.
In the state of New Jersey, a contract for sale, if it's a cash deal, can be put forth in 10 days.
Okay.
So what is the length of that contract? What do you expect it will be before that is finalized and there is a change of hands and ownership?
This is a commercial transaction, so it could be closed in one day.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
The reconsideration, what I'm hearing from the council is, you don't want this to be considered, that you're willing to reconsider and then put it off till carry till next month, but you will not address this next month unless two things happen. A, there's a contract, a fully executed contract of sale, and B, there is withdrawal of the lawsuit.
Fair
Is
enough.
that correct?
And that's fair.
Fair enough.
The withdrawal could be provided to me tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
You could withdraw it.
I can't, I'm not the attorney of
He's
record
not the
on that.
filing
But
attorney.
we don't have a meeting tomorrow. We have a meeting next month, so you've got,
I think it would be fair if it was handled quite that way, and that the pending litigation was withdrawn, and the contract of sale was moving forward, fully signed and executed. Quite honestly, I would have liked for that sale to have taken place, but I could consider it with the signed agreement.
We will have a signed document and a filed stipulation of dismissal the next time we meet a month from
Okay.
today.
All right, so I'm fine if we'd like to move forward with the motion to reconsider the vote that was taken and allow it to be tabled.
Okay, so on the motion to reconsider.
I think Sharon wants, I apologize.
Come up and speak.
Well, I'm so happy to hear about a parking garage, but we were promised from the same developer a parking garage on 22nd Street when they built the one where the dollar store was that burned down. It was supposed to be a private-public partnership there, and we still didn't get it, and they're short of the parking spots because that was part of their requirement. So I do have concerns about promises met and promises made and promises kept. Thank you.
Sharon, do you mind if I ask you, how did you handle that at the time? If you approved something and something was assured and then it ended up not coming to fruition?
Well, we believe that they would, in good faith, do it. It was already done, so we already passed everything. There was no retro we can do. But you know history. Today, I would make a different decision based on history and what had happened, right? You do something, it's learning, right? You learn, you see, we tried this and it didn't work last time.
And my belief is that there was a condition precedent that the city of Bayonne had to perform, that it has been unable to perform to allow for that parking garage to be built.
Again, we're waiting for somebody else to, since I did read the litigation, we just had somebody else promise somebody else doing something here, so that if it doesn't go through, you'll say, oh, well, you know, something
There's no
didn't happen.
condition precedent on the city of Bayonne in connection with this one. This is two
understand.
private parties who have agreed to collegially develop a group of properties. And part of that collegial effort involves providing a parking facility.
On, including our parking garage, the city property there. So they're just adding on, so they're going to use the city property to build on and meet their parking requirement. That's all public. It's all public. None of it's reserved for there. Okay.
And it's
I'm
going
just,
to increase more than just the lot.
okay, but I'm always, like I said, I'm all for it when you're making parking, but I just have concerns because I know, you know, what was promised and what wasn't satisfied last time.
Thank you for letting us know. Mr. Patella, again, not that we don't believe your word, but I want to see the written contract.
Usually when you
that's
say
all.
it twice, it really
I
means
said
that you don't
twice
believe
now,
my
too.
word, but that's all right. But I just want to clear up something. What the last speaker spoke about was that some project on 22nd Street. That had nothing to do with the anchors. This is their one and only project. And they're not even the developers, they're just the landowner. So we will, I just didn't know. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Again, I think Mr. Coffey was correct on discussing the condition precedent on that. Again, though, for the concerns about making sure that the required parking for this site, the council will have numerous opportunities in the redevelopment plan and then also the redevelopment agreement to, address and make sure that your concerns are met, that there is sufficient public parking on this site, again, to meet the needs. If the city's going to put it, property, up for stake to make sure that we get more parking built, we want to make sure that A, the administration and you, B, the council are satisfied on the number of spots that is, potentially going to be provided here.
Thank you.
And counsel, if you need clarification, Mr. Coffey's right, there was a condition precedent that the city did not fulfill in terms of building that parking deck and providing the ability to do that. We've been trying to come to solutions over the few years. We have taken spaces in another building, so it's not that people are parking on the street. We have taken spaces in the Barnabas deck in the meantime, so it is accounted for. But at some point, we're going to need to sit and figure that out because it can't be a perpetual situation. But it was not from my client's failure to perform. We were ready to do it. We were ready to move forward. And I think the city determined that it was not feasible for them to do the part that they had agreed to.
Okay, well, let's get back to this. At hand, and like I said, we'll be able to, let's do a vote on the revision.
You're taking a vote on the motion to reconsider. So on the vote, Mr. Booker? Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
And now the motion to table until August 13th. Who'd like to move it?
Move.
Okay, and on that motion, Mr. Booker? Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Thank you.
R5 is awarding a contract for cleaning services for the police department to Carson 1994 Corp., doing business as Janpro of Northern New Jersey, for a total contract amount of $111,443. Would like to move it?
So move.
On that resolution, Mr. Booker? Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
I have a couple additional items. Some are on your agenda, some are not. The first one is authorizing the cancellation of the trust fund reserved account for disability trust account in the amount of $50,647.78. Would like to move it?
Can we get a little clarification on that? Yeah.
It's actually a stagnant account that the auditors and the state asked us to cancel.
What was the original intent of that account?
It's from years ago, and it was from an old disability. They set up a separate trust when they didn't have to, when they would take money and put it aside to pay for the disability insurance. So they set up like a separate bank account, and they never had to. So it's been stagnant for like 7 years.
And so if we
We just
dissolve that
closed, yeah, we closed it and then moved the money into operations.
and that's already been effectuated. So then what are we approving it for?
Never a resolution done. It was done a long time ago, and when the state reviewed our finance statements, it was never done by resolution, and they asked us to do a resolution.
So we're not necessarily authorizing it, we're ratifying action that has already taken place.
We're removing it from our books. The account was closed, the actual bank account was closed, but the accounting wasn't removed from the books.
Okay. There's not much you can, I don't think we have a choice.
Right.
So moved.
Right. Second?
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Add 2 is from the Honorable James M. Davis, appointing Edward Lubbock Jr. to the Planning Board as a Class 6 member for a term to expire December 31st, 2028.
Move it.
Second.
And on that one, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Add 3 is authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an agreement with Arcadis for the environmental engineering assistance in grant writing not to exceed $25,000.
So moved.
On that one, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And 4 is from the Honorable James M. Davis, reappointing Irene Rose Pike to the Bayonne Housing Authority for a term to expire December 21st, 2029.
So moved.
And on that one, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the last one I have is authorizing the mayor and city clerk and/or other required municipal officials to execute an administrative service agreement with Empower Retirement LLC and submit all necessary documents to the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for approval.
This is in connection with the deferred compensation plan, that they administer the plan. And the Division of Local Government Services contacted us and said we need a resolution to authorize Empower Retirement LLC rather than their predecessor in interest, which was an insurance company that got swallowed up by somebody else.
So move it.
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And that is all I have. Mr. Coffey, do you have anything?
I don't think I have anything. Well,
Well, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
No?
No.
Just one
No?
no.
Oh. Oh, that's right.
No
Weimer
worries.
has an addition.
So we had a lot of discussion tonight about the pilot programs that are on our books and what it is that they benefit and what perhaps they don't benefit. One item that the pilots are, do have an ability, one thing the council has the ability to do is to allocate a portion of the pilots towards our school board budgets. In the past, the prior administration did make a resolution to allow for the council to allocate that portion, but it would be done by resolution. So I am very cognizant of the fact that this is something that is very near and dear to all of our hearts, as well as, especially because it is the education of our children. It is their ability to meet their needs and do so, hopefully, without the need to raise our tax levies towards our citizens. So I'm working with the legal department now to review and investigate what our abilities are and what is the best way to proceed. But I have proposed some language to the law department that does require a legal opinion. This is nothing that is guaranteed, but it is something I'm asking them to look into. And it will be reviewed and considered by outside counsel to be resolved at our August meeting. The language that our law department is comfortable with will read, right now, section 15.08 allows for a voluntary payment to the Bayonne School District, excuse me. And it says, from time to time and in the sole discretion of the municipal council may adopt a resolution redirecting the city to remit 10% of the annual service charge to the Bayonne School District as a voluntary payment or payments. That is the current language. In the future, I am asking us to consider language, something to the effect of, in addition to the annual service charge as set forth and calculated herein, the redeveloper shall make a separate annual payment in an amount equal to 10% of the annual service charge to the municipality, which sum shall be used to supplement the Bayonne School District's budget. So that would be a separate allocation to the Bayonne School District's budget. It is over and above what is required of them in the pilot program right now. I don't know that is allowed. I don't know that it is going to pass muster. We do have to get a legal opinion, but it is what I have asked to be considered. So I wanted to share that with the public. I think Attorney Coffey is working on that with outside counsel now, and that's something that we'll look for in August.
Okay, and Madeline, I know there was a tax cancellation for 442 Avenue C. I don't know if we did that one. It was an ad. We received notice that a tax bill went out. 442 Avenue C is half of the park on 19th Street and Avenue C. And over the past 2 years, we purchased both of those properties from individual property owners. We closed on the north side of the park on January 30, 2025, which is after the assessing date. So a tax bill went out to the former property owner for $4,982.25 for the third and fourth quarter. This resolution would ask that the tax collector be granted the ability to cancel the taxes because the city of Bayonne owns it and would be paying itself. So.
Yes, I did. Who would like to move it?
Move it.
Second.
And on that one, which will be ad 6, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And now I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And on the motion to adjourn, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye. Have a good evening, everybody.